Welcome to this segment of 5 Minutes with KeRusso. Today we're going to talk about trending. How are you trending? Well, what do you mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, there are some trends that happened early in the Bible that I just want to pick up on and hope you can follow along with me here. Do you remember in Genesis chapter 1 when God created everything? Everything was made good. Good, very good. God just blesses. You get to chapter 2 and verse 4, and there's a marker there. It says, this is the account of when the Lord God made the heavens and the earth. What's happening there is God is going to go back and tell again the story of the creation, but he's going to focus on his relationship with people and how that played out. And you're going to see this trend. He's going to take this man and woman and put them in this garden with all these blessings. And what do they do with the blessings? Well, they like them for a while and they listen to God, but then they decide not to listen to God and they do their own thing. And something bad happens. Now God has to discipline them. Well, he does, but he blesses them again. He blesses them with a couple of children, 2 boys, and he blesses those boys. And those boys like those blessings for a while, but then one of them decides to stop listening to God. His name is Cain, and decides to murder his brother. So God has to discipline him. But God blesses him even. But even when he's blessed by God, he decides he's just going to do his own thing in spite of that. And it ends up his family line is captured with this guy by the name of Lamech, who brags about being a murderer. That's kind of the trend. God blesses, people enjoy the blessings for a while, and then they decide, well, we're just going to do our own thing. They do. Well, chapter 4 and verse 26 has this little encouraging thought, a little glimmer of hope here. In that verse, it says, at that time, the people began to call on the Lord. Here are some people who are going to learn to walk with God and who are going to hang tight to him. And so you get to chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, this is the written account of Adam's family line. It's another marker. God's going to tell another storyline here. This is the storyline of Seth, that people are going to hang on tight to God. He's going to bless them. You're going to read name after name, and God just blesses them with an incredibly long life. And they have this long life, and all these children, and you think everything is going great. Then you get to chapter 6, though, and you get a big interruption. In chapter 6, verse 1, you will read about people increasing on the earth. Verse 2, you're going to read about the sons of God falling in love with the daughters of men. And you say, well, who are the sons of God? Well, a lot of people talk about that. Nobody knows for sure. Verse 3 is where I want you to focus. Chapter 6, verse 3. Then the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with humans forever. God describes his relationship with people, and it's now not one of harmony, it's one of contending. So much so that when you get to verse 5, the Lord looks at the people and he sees how great their wickedness has become, and every inclination of thought is evil. Their hearts are just tuned into evil all the time. And then you get to verse 6. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. Now, if you're not connecting the dots here, this is that family line of Seth that was walking in harmony with God, hanging on tight to him, finally got tired. The blessings didn't matter. They're just going to do what they want to do, and it's all bad. So you get to verse 7, God says, this can't continue. I got to end it. And he's going to send a flood that's going to kill almost everybody, except in verse 8, there's a guy by the name of Noah who finds favor with God. And God's going to do something through him. Now, I like that, verse 8, because it reminds me that God doesn't give up hope on people. But here's the deal. The trend that you see is God blesses, and people love the blessings, but at some point, the blessings don't matter. Instead of drawing close to God who's blessing them, they decide to go off and do their own thing. And it's always bad stuff. So here's my question. Here's the reflecting. How are you trending? Are you following that trend? Take a piece of paper and a pen and start writing down all the blessings God has given you this past week. You'll be writing for a long time, and you're going to miss most of them. Well, what difference do those blessings make? Do they matter? Are they drawing you closer to God? Is that your trend? Or in spite of the blessings, have you decided, I just go do my own thing? And you're off doing things that God wouldn't have you do, and it's stuff that's bad, hurting you and hurting other people. Is that your trend? You have been blessed. But what are you doing with those blessings? Take some time and reflect on that. Okay? I hope you will. And I hope if you're off track that you get back on track and you start walking close to God again. Hang on tight to Him. Hang on tight. All right, that's it. We'll touch base with you the next segment. We'll talk about this guy, Noah. Be mindful of those blessings.